Hi, Stacy here with Bluebird Paper and Thread. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is Saturday, July 15th, and it is the second to the last Saturday that I have to work a Saturday, any part of a Saturday. I have one more Saturday next Saturday that'll take up a bulk of the day, but for the most part, I'm in the home stretch. I'm very excited. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I talk about my hobbies on this channel, cross stitching, a little bit of paper crafting, card making, treat boxes, gift tags, that kind of a thing. I also I do like to sew. Haven't done much of that actually in the last several years. And I have quilted and I'd like to get back into quilting again. I've been seeing a lot of really cute larger quilt blocks or pieces that could be used as a wall hanging. So I'm kind of interested in maybe dipping a toe in that arena again, but not anytime soon. I mean, not maybe by the end of the year. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, today or this week was just a week of life. Very busy at work, personally, a little bit challenging, but we got through it. It always gets better, right? I did get quite a bit done. I was surprised. I was putting my things together last night and I was looking at them and I'm like, oh, I worked on this, put it in the basket. And I'm like, oh, I worked on this, put it in the basket. I got quite a bit done. So despite it all and despite not being able to stitch in the mornings, I am getting quite a bit done. So that's kind of fun. I'm going to go ahead. I want to start with a new finish. I do have a fully finished object. Last week I told you that the frame came in for my summer delivery, and so last Saturday afternoon I did spend time and I framed it, and here it is. I ordered the frame from pictureframes.com and I just ordered the frame. So you can get the frame, you can get, they don't ship glass, they ship acrylic. So you could get the acrylic, you can get the museum, like the anti-reflective on the acrylic or not. I opted to not put glass on this one. I used my acid-free foam board that I got from Michael's last week, and then on the back I also had to add a piece of cardboard on the top of that, just because I have no glass and I didn't put spacers in. On the foam board I put a little bit of warm and natural batting, and then I just used the sticky finishing tape that is good for projects, and I just taped it on the back, and this is the result. And I am absolutely in love with it. I love it. I've had it in the house just kind of propped up on a table so that the cat wouldn't step on it, and it just makes me smile every time I walk by the table. So I'm going to hang it up maybe this weekend, and I'm going to put it up there so that it's one of the first things I see when I walk in. So I got it done. It feels so good to get something like fully finished, not just finished, fully finished. So let's just jump into haul. Why not, right? I ordered my first Q-snap, an 11 by 11 size. I figured this was good enough for me to try to handle. So I'm going to give it a whirl and see what I think. So that came in. My fabric for Beach Boardwalk came in. So there's the fabric and there's the pattern. I already have the floss, and I have a needle minder. It's not a needle minder specific for this, but I liked it, so I picked it up. It's a house. And I last time I talked about originally wanting to do these in individual pillows for dough bowls and my tiered trays. And I think I've changed my mind now that I know I can frame for sure and do it more properly than what I used to do framing. I kind of want to do this in, like make it an actual boardwalk all across, right next to each other. So I think I'm going to do it as one long piece. So we'll see. Not sure when I'm going to start it. Probably soon. We'll just see how that all works out. I picked up Bowen needles, size 28, and size 26 John James needles. So kind of excited to try those. My Edna Chicken Club came in. They just get cuter. I'm still on number 2. I don't even care. They're just too cute. And then my Classic Colorworks Floss Fix came in. So we've got Bramble Bush, Brandied Pears, Brown Hen, Brown Sugar, Bunny Honey, and Calico Kitty. And these are the colors. Bunny Honey, just a really nice neutral beigey gray. Sorry, the cat is in here, and we got really hot, so my allergies are kicking up a little bit. And I kind of ran out of my daily like Alivert type or Claritin, and I was at work. I'm allergic to everything at work, and I'm allergic to everything here, so it's affecting me. This is Brown Sugar. It's a real pretty color. Brown Hen, kind of a taupey brown. Calico Kitty. This one's got a lot of variegation in it. I really like it. Brandied Pears, a little darker than the Brown Sugar. And Bramble Bush. This is I don't even know what color that is. It kind of reminds me, as a kid in the coloring box, the crayons, the Crayola, burnt sienna. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the burnt sienna color. It's really pretty. So that came in. And I think that's all that I got for haul. I had to get a new credit card because my credit card number got compromised. Last Sunday I got a text message about 10:30 at night saying that my Mattress Firm purchase for $830 was approved. I said to my husband, I'm like, did you order something on Mattress Firm? And he's like, no. And I'm like, that's what I thought. So I called, and they said, oh no, the merchant realized their mistake and they reversed it. I'm like, okay. He's like, you should be able to see it on the app. So I pulled up the app. Sure enough, it had been reversed. So everything's fine. Tuesday morning, early, 1:30 in the morning, another text message comes through that another $830 some odd dollars for Mattress Firm was charged to my card. So I'm like, okay. So I went and I looked, and it had been reversed. Well, why would the merchant reverse it twice if somebody wasn't trying to test my card? So I had already called the fraud department on the credit card, and and my credit card was kind of falling apart. So I said, well, could you send me a new one with the same number? Sure. I'm like, okay. Well, then Monday comes around, and I called back and I said, I feel like someone's testing my card, and I don't have time for this. I want to cancel that number. Can you send me a new card with a new number? Oh, sure. So a card is on its way to me. I don't know if it's going to have the new number or the old number, but I have had, well, I do have other credit cards, but I don't like using them because I like the points to accumulate on this one. So I have no credit card right now, and all of my Fat Quarter Shop clubs that I'm a part of, and Annie B's folk art. I'm doing the snowman. I'm collecting the patterns right now, and I have all the things to do the snowman ornaments through. I think it's Annie B's. I'll look it up, and I'll link it below if I remember. But I now have to pay like cash, which is not a problem. But I'm like, I'm not getting the points, so I've been kind of not doing a lot of shopping. So things are coming in that I have already ordered, but I'm not ordering anything new. And that's okay. As long as my card comes before vacation, we're good. We'll get on to whoops. I feel like I'm just rambling. I am working on the Teresa Kogut Patreon Tier 4 chart, and it's Dancer's Friends. And I am stitching this 1/2 on 36 count Edinburgh linen in Cypress. And this is my progress. Now, this little swirly right here, I may change that color. The other half of these leaves here are in that same color, so I am going to do a couple of them and see how I like it. In some lights I feel like you can see it, and in other lights I'm like, it doesn't show up very well. So I think I'm going to consider switching that color. I don't know what I would switch it to. I think I have to go look. I'm using all the called for flosses, mostly DMC with a few weeks dye works. And here they are. So this is the color that kind of disappears. DMC 3364. But all the other colors seem to be doing really well with the fabric. So, I don't know, we'll see. I wanted to get a few of the leaves done so that I could add that lighter color in and see what I think. So I just kind of worked straight up. It's a fun stitch, actually. I think she releases these patterns at a later time. I just don't know when. So I'm sure it'll come out at some point. I put a tiny bit of time in on Land That I Love. Not a whole lot. I think I wasn't in the mood for all of the detailed stitching that I did on this, and if I'm honest, I think I wound up tearing out what I did a couple of times, which means my head wasn't in the space. And Monday was a really hard day for me, and I think I tried to do this on Monday, so I really wasn't paying much attention. I needed to pull out something that was on like Ada or Lugana. Anyway, so this is where I'm at. And I stitched the Land That I Love. So I'm going to come in next time, and I'm going to work on the bottom here, and I'm just going to start working over there and up, and continue on my progress. Maybe I'll get a few more hours in on this week. I'm using all the called for. I'm stitching it on 40 count Vintage Country Mocha Newcastle linen. All the called for flosses. Really, really pretty. 1/2 is what I'm stitching on that one. I think this is the one I pulled out when I realized that I was tearing out more stitches on Land That I Love than putting in. So I decided to pull out the Cuckoo Bird sampler. And I'm stitching this one on 28 count. I think it's Vichy by Nikki's Creations. And it's a wonderful like plaid. Oh, let me get the fox out of the way. But I worked on the bird. I got the bird maybe a little less than halfway done. Oh, sorry. It's I'm really liking it a lot. I'm using the called for floss, which is bark by Weeks Dye Works. I think I have enough to get me through the rest of it. We'll see. It is the called for floss, and it does have beads that go on. So the beads go on, they're like the berries at the end of the branch that the bird is sitting on. So I'm kind of moving this one along, and I'm kind of excited to see it done. I think I'm gonna frame it. I'm hoping it'll fit in a standard frame, because ordering a frame like this was not cheap. This was with shipping. I think I wound up paying something like $60, and the frame size itself is, oh, I've got the wrong side up. The frame size is like 13 and a half by 9 3/4. So, you know, $60 for this size. I think I got a discount because of my first order. So I don't want to do that with every piece, but there are certain pieces that I'm going to want to frame with the proper margins and things like that. So summer is marching right along, but my summer cross stitch is not. Stitching seasons from Stitching with the Housewives. This is the pattern, the chart. And I worked on most of the word summer and a little bit, nope, just the word summer. So my goal the next time I sit down is to finish the word summer and then add the flowers in the upper corners and the strawberries, and then to fill in probably the black, and then start working my way over to do that third structure, that second house right here, and get it done. And then I will take the floss. I think I want to paint my board with this color. So I'm going to take this floss and I'm going to go see about picking up some paint. I don't think I've already got paint this color, so we'll see what I can find. This is through the Fat Quarter Shop. It is a subscription, and you get this card, which goes, you know, has a finishing idea and all of the different parts. Oh, I've got my cat. Chloe, no. She's walking on a precariously stacked set of picture frames that I'm like, she's gonna knock them all down. That's fabric. It's being stitched on 28 count thin white pine board Evenweave by Fabric Flair, also provided in the kit. And of course the bag and the zipper pull all came together. I feel like autumn is going to be coming out here in the next little bit, so I'd really like to get this one done at least before the end of July. We'll see. I don't know. I pulled out my summer plant out of the new punch needle and primitive stitcher. I worked on this last night. I am stitching this on 40 count straw linen by Weeks Dye Works. And I'm using the called for flosses, all DMC. And that's my progress. Let me show you the pattern chart. Finished piece. So I worked on this strawberry and that strawberry. And I think I did the little flower in there. It's actually a pretty quick stitch, even on the tiny count, fabric count. Oh, upside down. So we'll see. I'm planning on finishing it on this board from Chantel's 141 Design Company. I will, when it's all done, I will pick a color paint. I'm leaning towards one of the blues, but I will wait and see what it looks like when it's all done. And then paint this and then put this inside because I think it'll be really cute inside of it. So we'll see. I would like to get this one done before summer too, but if it doesn't happen, that's okay. I'm just stitching on what I want to these days. I'm not really going into it with a plan. Stitching in July, focusing Christmas in July stitching. I really just wanted to get the cookie cutter ornaments done by It's So Emma. It's not going to happen in July. I think I can get them done by the end, before Christmas, but not by the end of July. But I did work on this a little bit. I put the brown in on a few. So I've got the bow outline of the cookie done. So that's what that's going to look like. And I got the cookie outline of the stocking done. And I started the Christmas tree. I did all of this last night. The blue on this one was already done. I had already started that one. But I started the Christmas tree. And I sat there and I looked at the Christmas tree and I thought, do I want my tree to have a hat on it? And I haven't quite decided. I may tilt the hat. I may leave it the same. I think it depends on where my head is when it comes time to get to that point. Do I feel like figuring it out? Do I feel like just stitching it as is? We'll see. I'm stitching this on 25 count Evenweave barley vintage cloth. It really is a nice fabric to stitch on. I really like it. And I am using the called for Classic Colorworks. I believe I got this in a thread pack from Fat Quarter Shop. So all the colors are represented. It's really nice. And I pulled out Dreaming of Poppies. I really am focused on getting the bottom stitched all the way across to make sure that I have enough fabric, enough space on the fabric. This picture does not do it justice, let me tell you. Winter Moon 32 count, Winter Moon Linen by Zweigart. Again, a really nice fabric to stitch on. And I think I'm gonna make it. I got all the way to the end, and I think I'm gonna have enough room. It will be tight margins to frame. I know that, but I think it'll look nice. The other thing is I was stitching it depending on the finished size, which I don't know if it tells you. It doesn't. I'd have to figure it out. I don't remember off the top of my head. I was even thinking this would be a really nice pillow. But those words are backstitched, so I have to make sure that it's in a spot where little kitty toenails can't get to it. So that might not actually happen, but I thought it would be a really pretty pillow. It'd be big, but I think framed or as a pillow would be just great. I'm using all the called for flosses. There's a lot of them, a lot of shading and color changes. So these are the flosses. They make me happy. And this is not my usual color palette that I go for, but these are just gorgeous together. So moving along. I think once I finish that bottom, I'm going to start going back to those charts because I just focused on getting the bottom of each of those charts. This book, let me back up. This is a little bit of an unusual book for me. I've never experienced one quite like this before. She takes the chart and she breaks it up into 14 different pages. So some of what you're stitching is on that page, and then she'll have other charts. So like there's an ABC, a Poppy ABC sampler. So this is there. These are all like the bonus charts, which is great. But it's like she just filled in. So it's kind of hard for me to go through and stitch this, especially since I started this on the lower left corner, lower right corner for me. I started it down here on this side, and it's really hard to work the pattern backwards when it's broken up over 12 of the 14 pages or 13 of the 14 pages. So my thought was I will go through and I will stitch each section. Now that I know that I can get all the way across, I'll go back and stitch each section and move back across and then start moving up and filling in that way. That way I won't miss anything from those first sections that I've stitched. I think that's what my plan is. We'll see as we go. Star Spangled Ornaments. This was supposed to be my June finish. Didn't happen, but we are getting closer to a finish. Excuse me. I am stitching this one on the 25 count Evenweave in Pebble, Lori Holt vintage cloth. And I'm using the called for flosses, which are really bright and vibrant, really pretty. And what did I do? I made the pie look like a piece of pie. And then I started I don't know what this one's called. The Fireworks Show. Sorry, my computer just completely blanked out on me. The Fireworks Show. And then the Rocket. The Rocket I messed up on just a tiny bit, so I had to take some stitches out, but it's now correct. It doesn't look like it, but I think when the whole motif is done, it'll be fine. And the flip-flops. So those are the last 4 I have to do. So this one I picked up a couple of times right after work this week, and I just sat down and I worked a length of thread through sometimes 2 lengths of thread just to kind of move it along and get it done. It would be great if this could be a finish for July. Again, if it's not, it's okay. We're already past the 4th of July. It's all right. And then I worked on Patriotic Tweet, May's Tier 4 Patreon chart from Teresa Kogut. And I am stitching this on 32 count Murano car in taupe. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. I don't know if I am. Zweigart. And I finished the flag, and I got some more of that 3rd flower done, and I got this done up here and this down right here, and I filled in the leaves. So we are making steady progress, but this is going to be another one that'll be really cool when it's done. Depending on how big it is, it might be a pillow. And we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm really liking the way that's turning out. So much so that for the other charts for that month, the Patreon, I may try to stitch some of these in that too. So we've got Freedom, and this is from May of 2022, Land of Liberty. I don't think I would stitch that on the gingham. I think I will find a nice neutral for that one. The Ornament, God Bless the USA. And then the Pledge, I think I'll stitch this on a different, a more plain linen. I love this piece. And then old Mr. and Mrs. Old Glory. This one might get stitched on the gingham. We'll see. We'll see if it gets stitched. This one's lower on my priority list out of all of them from that month. But we'll see. I've gotten to the point where I'm keeping all of them for a month in the same project bag. And then all the called for flosses for all of the projects are here. This is my working ones. They're already on floss drops. These will get put on floss drops when it's their turn. I originally didn't want to store my flosses on floss drops, and I think I'm changing my mind. I've been mulling it over for quite some time. I have a space in my craft room right behind you that is bright, but it does not get direct sunlight. It is behind a calyx unit, off to the side and behind a calyx unit and underneath my shelving unit, which is right here. So it's bright, but it's not direct sunlight. And I think, oops, sorry, Chloe. I think I am going to put them eventually on floss drops, and then hang them. I just don't know how I'm going to hang them. I found really pretty drawer pulls at Hobby Lobby that I thought would be nice to put a ring of these on there, but I have 3 drawers full of different kinds of flosses, plus another drawer that has the bobbin cases, and I am just not sure how many of those drawer pulls I will need. So I'm contemplating that. I'm thinking perhaps a couple of towel bars, maybe. I don't know. That's why I haven't moved on it, because I haven't quite figured the whole thing out yet. So we'll see. But I love the colors on this one. The palettes, nice and primitive. So it's a fun one to stitch as well. I'm enjoying it. And I did have a new start. I think it was last week I showed you from my haul, my wooden canvases or cross stitch. You can use it for cross stitch, needlepoint, that kind of a thing. And I wanted to see if this would fit. Well, I did a lot of counting and a lot of calculations, and it will fit. So it'll fit on this one. Oof. So I started it. And it was so much fun. A little tricky on the back, but the back doesn't look bad. But I'm using this 6 strands. So I'm almost already through 1 skein of this brown. And I went through and I pulled out all of these beautiful colors, and I figured out where I wanted them to go. I changed the color palette. And then as I started stitching the just stitch part, I realized, oh, you're a fool. 1 skein is not going to do all of those flowers. So I'm going to have to go to Hobby Lobby sometime in the next couple of weeks and see if I can't find the DMC equivalent and pick up several skeins of each color, so that I can finish this one. But I'm loving it. I think it's fun. And I have one more of these large rounds that I can do one of the other stitches on, I'm sure. But because you're using 6 strands over the one hole, so that it will show up and give it presence, I think DMC is the route on this one. So something unusual, something a little fun. I couldn't wait. I got this needle minder from Walmart a while ago. It does the job, but it is not the strongest needle minder, but it does hold through the wood, kinda. I mean, it's enough to hold the needle, since you can't poke it through fabric, and I suppose I could poke it through the pattern, but why? And I think that's it. I'm starting to think about my fall stitching. Not quite ready to go there, so and start actually, diving in full force into the fall stitching. But I went through my whips and I went through my partially kitted basket, and I pulled out all of the fall, fall being mostly Halloween and Thanksgiving. I pulled out all of those projects, and I'm going to go through them this weekend or this week, and I'm going to make a list of all the supplies that I need to finish kitting them, or start them work on them if I've got them already in the pile. I'm also going to go through and go through my patterns, and I'm going to pick a couple new ones and work on those too. I've got a lot, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But I will probably do a separate video on that, because I think it's going to be quite a lengthy video to show what I've got and then to show you what I'm going to work on. So so there's that, and I'm also thinking about vacation. Vacation is about 5 weeks away. Who's counting? We are. I know I'm not going to get a ton of stitching done. So my thoughts are, I think I'm going to take along one or two of like these types of projects where if I've got time and really good lighting, I might whip it out and start stitching on one of those. My birthday will be when we're on vacation, so I would like to do a new birthday start. So I need to figure that out, what it is that I want to start. Also, and I want it to be a little bit bigger of a piece. I do have quite a few of the larger, more time-consuming pieces going right now, but if I can start another one, why not? For my birthday, we'll see. Also, I'd like to see if I can't get some of those things finished up. So my celebrate a year of celebrations by Hands On Design. I'm in the middle of September, and I have October, November, December, and January. If I could get those 4 finished while I was on vacation, that would be amazing. The Country Cottage series by Country Cottage Needleworks, I've only got 6 of those done, so if I could focus on getting some of those done while on vacation, that would be amazing. I want something that's easy and that's on a little bit bigger count or an easier fabric to stitch on, in case I can actually stitch in the car. I don't know that I can do that. We shall see. If I'm driving through the plains and there's not a lot visually going on out of the corner of my eye, I might be able to swing it, but I'm not counting on it. But I just want something that's big and easy that I could work on in the car. Maybe. I've never stitched in the car before, so that'll be a first. As well as things that I can stitch in a hotel room, just to kind of unwind a little bit, put a few stitches in every night on something. So I'm kind of thinking about what I have and what I can take with me. Maybe those things that I really want to work on, but I'm not drawn to here because there's other things that, other projects on other fabrics that I really like stitching on more that I turn to. So, anyway, so I'm going to be figuring that out too, and that will be in a future video. It will be included in a future video, let's put it that way, what I'm going to be taking on vacation. If you have stitched on vacation, in the car, we're not taking a plane, but on a plane, what do you take with you? This will be the first time well, no, that's not true. When the kids were little, we had a trailer and we would go camping for a week or, a weekend here or there. And I would bring my stitching with me. And then in the evening, as we're getting the kids calm and putting a movie on, I would sit and stitch. So I've done a lot of that kind of stitching. But in the trailer where you've got a lot of really good light, better than a hotel room a lot of times, it's a lot easier. So any tips, any tricks, any ideas on what to bring? I'm open. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on it, because this will be the first time I've really done it in this way. So I don't know what I don't know. Anyways, I think that's it for me. I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon finishing up this video, editing it, getting it up and out by tonight. Maybe working on a couple of cards. I've got the cat out here. She's hanging out with me today, so we'll see how long that lasts. She actually did much better than I thought she would. I thought she would be up in my face and I'd have to stop the video and put her back in the house, but we're doing okay. Anyways, I'm just going to spend the afternoon crafting. I do have a little bit more work to do this afternoon in a few hours. I have to pick somebody up from the U-Haul rental place and take him back to his car. So, but then after that, I'm done with work until I get my list of things that they forgot, and I have to bring up to them on Monday when I go up with the kids on the bus. It'll be a fun day. Anyways, that's it for me. Have a great weekend and a great rest of the week. Please, if you haven't done so already, make sure you like the video, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload new content. I would really appreciate it. We are inching closer to 1,000 subscribers, and that is the goal, is 1,000 subscribers. So liking and sharing and commenting, it all helps to move us towards that goal. Once we get there, I'll kind of explain a little bit of what my thoughts are moving forward with the channel. I've got plans. Nothing's going to change drastically anytime soon, but I have an ultimate goal in mind, and I would like to share that with you all when we get to the 1,000 mark. So anyways, I think that's it for me. Have a great weekend. Happy stitching, and I will see you next time.